Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I have my King Griffey Jr. collection update. The big one. This is the big one because I have actually sorted my entire collection. For the first time in my whole history of collecting King Griffey Jr., I actually have sorted everything. Now, have I made a list of everything? No. I made a list of my refractor collection. That's it. But I have everything sorted and in an order that makes sense to me personally so that I can continue collecting and be able to find and pick cards away in a logical manner. And I think that's important as a collector to do that. I think it's just one of those things as you become, more of I hate to say the term super collector or, focus collector. Organization becomes a huge part because when I was, let's say just 2 or 3 months ago, it felt like the unorganized part of my collection, that was the Griffey side, was getting out of control, and buying doubles and not knowing what cards I had just started to really bother me. So we'll go right into it. So when I started collecting in heavy around 2019, I only had probably 100 or 200 Griffey cards in total, and that's including base cards and everything. Everything fit in one shoebox, not even a double row, just a shoebox. Now, after the sorting, I have 3 2-row shoeboxes and 2 single-row shoeboxes of cards. So I went from 1 box to 5. And if you count the double rows as 2, then I got, 8, single shoebox rows full of cards now, basically. So the first thing I did, so the way I tried to come up with a way to do this, was to kind of do at first a universal sorting, style or system, right? All cards sorted one way, and then I would just fill the boxes up with, cards. But the thing that I've always not liked about, doing things alphabetically, by year, by value, by rarity, whatever you want to do, it just made it harder to find certain cards, or I didn't like having one of my favorite cards buried in the rows of shoeboxes and just not being easy to find or even kind of given a special place of honor. So I did it in 3 different parts. So I sorted my collection 3 different ways, and hopefully it makes sense as I go through it with you. But first up is what I call my best cards. So I bought 2 of these black shoe boxes off Amazon, and I really dig them because pull back a little bit so you can see them a little bit better. I really dig them because they're not the normal kind where the top comes off or you slide it out. The way these work is the flap folds up and out, and it's got magnets right here that come down and reattach. So it's magnetic. So I do feel like I like that more because the box itself feels more sturdy, and anyone who's had the white boxes over years knows they just kind of break down over time as you open and close, and the lids become kind of messed up. So I feel like this is going to last longer, and they're on Amazon. I'm not making any money off of this, so if you want to go on Amazon, search for card box, magnetic, black, or whatever, you'll see them. They're not too expensive. So this is box number 1. This is my favorites right here. And this is box number 2. Now, originally I was even going to just do 1 box, like 1 box full of my favorite cards. And then if it didn't make box 1, it was just put into the regular set with all the other cards. And I was like, that's going to be how I do it. That's just, 1 box and I'm done. But then when I was sorting, I'm like, I can't just do 1 box. I got to have 2 because I just feel like there's so many good cards in the collection. that I got to have, 2 boxes of, I call my favorites. So we'll go into box number 1, and I'll put box 2 kind of up here on the ledge. Hopefully we can see it, but here we go, box number 1. And I'm not going to go through every single card in here, but enough that you'll get an idea of how I've got it sorted. So I have it started out with my rookie cards. So here are my 2 favorite rookie cards. So they're both the Tiffany, the 89 Bowman Tiffany, and the 89 Topps Traded Tiffany. I've been very vocal for anyone who's cared to listen that my Tiffany, I think the Tiffany cards are by far the best rookie cards of Griffey. They're actually limited. They have stated print runs. They look better. They have the cool white premium back, the glossiness. So, I prefer these over the 89 Upper Deck. Just point blank. Even if I had an 89 Upper Deck 10, it'd probably be in here, but it would still not be my favorite. This is my favorite. The Bowman is my favorite rookie card of all time. It will never change. So then I go into autographs. So I do like one of my collections I'm trying to get is basically every King Griffey Jr. autograph from the 90s. That is a goal of mine, along with the refractors. So I start here with the Chirography auto. I think it's probably his most popular 90s auto is the Chirography auto. And honestly, it definitely has tons of eye appeal. This is a very strong autograph here on this card. I'm probably going to either get it graded by probably Beckett pretty soon. Just because I do like how Beckett does autographs, but I don't think PSA gave it the grade I would have preferred. So I'm going to try it again with Beckett. Who knows? I mean, we'll see. I like the fact how Beckett does their holders for graded auto cards, but it is what it is. So, or I may keep it raw. Who knows? Next up is the UD Legends. So this is a 9/9. It got a 9 auto, I think, for that little lightness and the cross between the J right there. I don't know. I think that auto is pretty strong for a 9 auto. But there you go. That is definitely one of his most popular autos right there. The 99 UD Century Legends. Huge auto there. And then this is the first auto I got graded. This came in a giant screw down, the 99 SP Signature, and this is a PSA 10. And the auto is super, super nice. So that one was a lucky one I got graded. And then I walked through the rest of them. The autos kind of 97 the UD3. This is kind of like, I think maybe his first auto. I think it actually is. Definitely his first auto. It's in ballpoint pen, which is very odd for this time period or for just autos in general. Next up are the 2 retro autos. Their stated print run of this card is definitely 100. I think it's the same for this card as well. But I love the retro autos. They are some of my favorite autos as well. So again, autographs from that time period are some of my favorite. Here is the next up is the game jersey. I do have a teal, which is, if I'm going to get a game jersey, I'm going to get definitely the teal one. Next up is a card that I don't have the 99 version, or sorry, the 98 version of this card. I only have the 97, which is my favorite, but the Precious Metals. This is not the PMG. This is just the Precious Metals from Donner's Preferred. This has got platinum in it. Real platinum in the card. These cards were insanely hard to get. I love the set itself. One of my favorite sets of the 90s, just because it was so wacky and trying to, piggyback on top of that Topps Finest sets with the different colors. They added the platinum, so you had gold and you had platinum. So just a beautiful set. And this is one of the really hard to get, even though it's not numbered. Everyone knows these are really tough pulls back in the day. So the next up is my PMG, the only PMG I own, the Hardball Galaxy from 98 Metal Universe. Came back at 6. It's got a little indent on the card, so it's not perfect. But 6 is still a good grade. I've seen these cards grade 4s and 5s before as well. Next up is my Flare Brilliance. Try not to get glare. This is what I always hate about my new camera setup. It's very glare intensive here. The Flare Brilliance, one of my favorite designs and sets of all time. I have been picking up some other players in this set recently, so just love that set and that card. And again, these are numbered to 99. Next up is the Platinum Medallion, and I do own 2 Platinum Medallions, so this is my second, the 97. The most popular is the 98, so this is the 97 Platinum Medallion. This one, I think, had a steady print run of 200 at the time, but not numbered yet. So they were numbered starting in 98 out of 100. Next up is my other Platinum Medallion, and again, this one is numbered. This is 2000. So, and 2000 is cool because it's die cut. I do like that little additional wrinkle to them. These are numbered, and then these are numbered right here. Let's see, out of 50. I know, with glaring here. Out of 50. We'll zoom back in a little bit. Next up is my MVP Gold out of 100. Again, these are all cards numbered. The theme on these cards is they're numbered. The Luminaries Gold out of Top Stars. Again, this is numbered out of 50, so that's my second numbered out of 50 card. This would have been higher, but they're not as popular just in general, and they're kind of a, I mean, I get what they were going for, but they're just a little flat in design. Not as cool as some other cards. My credentials, so I don't have the essential, but I do have the credentials. King Griffey Jr. from 97. They go in. It's hard to see, but it is numbered out of 299. You just can't see because of the eBay sticker that I still have on it. Credentials, and then my showcase, my one and only 98 Flare showcase, and these are numbered out of 100. You can see. So there you go. Beautiful card. That set has gotten really, really popular. Mirror Red from 1996 Select Certified. I don't have the gold, but I've got the Mirror Red, so I definitely love the set. Picked it up at the National. They're not numbered, but I believe the state print run of this set was 90. Mirror Gold from 97 Certified. Beautiful set. I mean, they're not super duper hard like the 96 set is, but still really beautiful cards. 97 Pinnacle Certified Gold. Again, these would have been awesome. They've been numbered, but they are not numbered. So, but a beautiful set, and Mirror Gold cards are pretty special. And then we get into cards that are more like refractor. So I got my 98 Crusade. I've got my actual 93 refractor. It's 8.5. And yeah, I love that card. I mean, I talked about it kind of being the, the greatest refractor set ever made. 93 finest. There's one of the top 5s I had on my list, the gold, and that is the base gold, and it's an 8, and it's got a protector on it. I have had multiple people contact me about this card when I first posted it a few times, wanting to buy it because it had a protector, thinking that it would get a higher grade because of that protector. Here is my 99 Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor that just came back from PSA. Came back at 9, and it is numbered out of 100. Another awesome chrome refractor, the 2000 Allegiance. Again, this is one of those chrome finest cards numbered out of 100. And yeah, and I think it's a beautiful card. It's a little, I think it's a little underrated, but still pretty expensive. Here is the infamous 98 Bowman's Best I pulled out of a pack. You can search my channel. You can see me opening this box, and I get this card out of a box, and it came back at 10. Came back at 10. Thank God. It worked. Here is a 99 Bowman Chrome International. A lot of people may not know these are numbered out of 100. The internationals are. Then here is, a lot of people like this set a lot, the 96 set. So there you go, 96 Topps Chrome. It's an 8. I graded that myself. 97, I did not grade myself. I just bought this card. So the 96 and 97 Topps Chrome refractors. So you can see I like refractors a lot. Next up is cut above, PSA 9. I've graded this card twice. I've got 2 9s on that card, so I got 9 on it both times. My linchpins came back an 8, so I graded that card myself as well. This card I graded as well. My mother load came back an 8. Really tough. I actually have this card in 7 too. It's really weird. And then here is a Donruss Elite Griffey Jr. And this Elite is numbered out 18 of 100. You can't really, it's hard to see underneath that little flap, but I'm a sucker for die cuts and shiny cards. And this one is really cool. The Gold Status Elite. And this card is one of my newer pickups. This is the Fractal Matrix Diamond Axis, numbered out of 100. You can see in the light there that cool blue metal foil, number 23 out of 50. So my third or fourth card, number out of 50. I think my third. Z-axis die cut. These have a state print run of 100, but they're not numbered, and you can see, but still really awesome card. Die cut fun. This is the Hot Gloves from Flair Showcase. Probably one of the best looking die cuts ever made. This is just, they really killed it. In football, they killed it as well. So I think basketball is good too, but I think football and baseball are nicer. Fusion. So here we go. Sterling Fusion. This came back a 7. I think, no, I bought this. These are numbered out of 500. You can't really see it. There you go. But people really love this set, and I don't blame them. There's a gold on right now. So that's the blue or the Fusion Sterling, and here is the regular Fusion base. And I got a mint 9 on this card. There you go. I bought it as a mint 9. Did not grade this one. This is the card I got in a trade, the MVP card. And again, only a few of these have been graded total. And they are super duper rare, these MVP promotion cards. Again, like I said, this is like, I think in the video, there's like only a couple of these that's ever been graded. So super rare card. And then here is the MVP card from Desert Shield, which this is the one card I debated putting in here. It's a big card and it's a really important card, but it's such a card that's been faked over the years that I'm a little leery of it buying it. And I waited till one came that I did a lot of research on, but in all honesty, that card is a little tainted due to all the shenanigans with that set. But that's like box 1, so that's like my favorite cards. Not every card in there is the most valuable, because some cards are just there because I like them. Like a lot of the refractors that are in there are because I just like those sets. But there was a lot of good low numbered refractors in there. So to me, I felt like it was still cards that deserve to be in that list, or in my top, my top tier. But yeah, I mean, everyone's got their own little ways of determining the best cards in their boxes. For me, it's both the nostalgia, the rarity, the design, it's all that. It all plays a part in my evaluation. But you can see, like, I did place a premium on the autographs. I think these 90s autograph of Griffey are some of the, they're great designs, but they're also cards that will never be cards that I think that you're going to have people not want to collect. So they're just beautiful and great design, and on card for the most part. Actually, the stickers didn't exist at this point. So that's my first list there. So this is going to be, and then here's number 2. So these are sort of like, that was 1A and this is like 1B, or the next level of cards. There's a little more raw here. So I got the Shining Stars, which has a little bit of a corner damage. So it's probably a 7 or an 8. The Hot Glove Griffey, the Z-Team Griffey, the Rave Review Griffey, the gold variation of the Hall or Nothing card, and the Man base card. I don't have this as a refractor, but the base cards are numbered out of 500. So that's the raw cards. And then graded cards. So this box is a little different than the last box. Is a lot of my favorites and just sort of some of the types of Griffies I really like the refractors and 90s autographs. There is cards in here that are in here because of value, or cards that do sell pretty well, like the 91 Peachy PSA 10. I just love it because it is a 10 and it sells pretty well. This card isn't really, it's not worth a ton, but this is like one of the best looking design in elite cards and inserts that I think has been issued with that pattern on there. The super refractor pattern is just really cool. Again, Pinnacle Skylines is just a beautiful card. Sells really well. The embossed die cut 9, I just love that set. The diamond cuts, the fractal matrix, that's a gem at 10. So it's just a little bit of a tougher card to get in that grade. The Z Access, that's that's 100 print run. The artist proof, that this card almost went into the number 1 box because I just love that card. The gold team certified, the PSA 10 and Gallery for Heroes for 97, the Peter Max PSA 10, again, beautiful cards. The hard hat, I graded that card a 10. Same way for this RBI Kings. So some of those are in there because they're just beautiful inserts. I graded PSA 10, so they're kind of just some of my favorite cards. The Prize Collection, I just love that set. Centurions, the Centurion base cards are out of 500. So again, that's a PSA 10. The Fleury Zone, which are always really tough inserts to get. The materials wood are out of 250. I think they are a little underrated. Here is my Luminaries Bronze. I just came back. They had the PSA 3. These are out of 100. So bad grade, but cool card. Sold the Game, again, a PSA 10, not a uber rare insert, but that's a PSA 10 of a very cool card. Skybox, Favorites of Fenway, again, a PSA 10 of a really cool card. Pretty hard to get. Dial 1, this is like out of 300, 1 in the 300 packs. I think it's a cool looking card. Some people don't like it, but I think it's cool. The Luminescent, PSA 10 out of Triumvirate. The Exceptional, which is basically a Jambalaya, that is out of $9.99. Out of 100, this is kind of the first card I've had here. Maybe the first that shows them as a red. Topps Gold Label. These are all out of 100. I do have 2 of those, which is kind of cool. So here's my second one. And then the Retrofractor, which is just a beautiful card, but again, as a red. Essentials Credential, that is numbered out of 27. Came back at 5 again. These cards are just hard to grade. Gold Refractor in 2010. And then a couple more autographs. This is a 2000 and a 2009. So non-90s auto, but still cool and on card and from the time period he played. So I threw them in there because I just like them a lot. So that's my best cards, part of my collection. And it's not, there's definitely going to be cards that you might see in the next phase where you say, well, those are better cards. But these are not only some of my favorite cards, but, for just various reasons. Either I like the sets, I like that card in particular, or I graded it. It came back at 10, so it's worth a little bit more. But that is sort of why I have those cards where they're at in my collection. All right, moving on to the big boxes of cards here. So let's start with box 1 here. Try not to knock anything over while I'm doing this. It's hard, man. Like it's like these boxes, and I don't have a ton of space here. You know, I'm working in the basement here, and I don't have like tons of space. So okay, so this is again a big part of my collection right here that I want to make sure that people understand is, you know, I am trying to put together the entire run of Griffey's refractors from the 90s, and then as many of the 2000s as I can get, but then they proliferate so much in the 2000s that I'm not sure anyone can get all of them because there's just so many of them. But the 90s are somewhat doable. So you saw I did have the 96, the 97, the 93 all in my other box. And here are my other ones, so you can kind of see by year. And I did a video kind of on the 94, 95, 95, 96 finest. You can see the video I did about my favorite 90s refractors. And I go into kind of where I'm at with my set. I think I said I need 71. I counted the 123 unique refractors from the 90s of Griffey, and I still need like 71. So it's a journey, it's a challenge. I graded this one myself, the 97 finest 10. I don't have this in the 96 for whatever reason. There's certain cards I just don't own for no reason. Like, I just don't know why I don't have certain cards because they're not really that hard to find. It's just I haven't taken the time to get them. Now here's my 98, which is a 9, which is pretty cool. The 98 Topps Chrome. That is the kind of interleague card. Milestone refractor. So, just a lot of cool cards. There is that Griffey out of 400 there. So again, that card, that's another Griffey out of 400. So that is, so they're all in order by year and by set name. So they're alphabetical. Try not to bounce the camera around too much. And then they're all graded. And then here I have my ungraded. So the 96, 97, 97. So I took all my graded ones and then all my ungraded ones. There's a lasting impact, the Lords of the Diamond. So, and then you get into the 2000s at some point, right? So that's basically everything here gets into refractors. And then I did put my game used in here too as well. So I do have some cool game used cards. They are the next part of this collection here. And then the very end is my kind of like my autos that are from the 2000s. So some cool autos. I got 2 of these. So a lot of 2000s autos. Stroke of Genius was such a cool set. That MVP auto is a really cool one. So just a lot of cool, 2000s, mid 2000s autos as well. So that's this box. So it's game used and auto. So all refractors, graded, ungraded, game used, and auto. So pretty simple. Nothing huge there in terms of like how I sorted that. So, and the reason why I did it that way is because, again, both game used and autos, refractors and autos, I'm trying to put together the whole run of the 90s. So putting them all together made sense. All right. Next up, let's see what we got. All right. Next up, here we go. All right, so I showed this box off in another video, and it's hard to move these boxes around without cards going everywhere. And so what did I do in this box? So these are all in my raw Griffey cards. All right. So these are raw Griffey cards, and so I did show these in a prior video. What I did this time that's a little different was I went through all the cards, and I went through and figured out how hard they were to pull. Like, what was their insert ratio? Now, obviously, if they're base cards, there's no insert ratio. Or if they're numbered. So, like, the number cards are first. So, again, this Gold Ovation is out of 500. So, that's a pretty cool card. This Griffey here is out of, 559. So, the number cards were first. But then I went into, the rarity. So, like, this one's a print run of 1400, right? This one is stated print run of 1500, right? And so these are all the number cards here. And then I go into sort of like the rarity. Like, this is out of 5,000. The hats off here is out of 5,000. The master. Was it master stroke? Something like that. So these are all numbered out of 5,000. So these were all just the numbered cards that were raw that I just put them together, and they're all in order by, fewest or, hardest, lowest number to highest number, right? Then I went in and got all my cards that were inserts, and then I went and wrote on the back the insert ratio. So this is 1 in 300 packs. And that is the Diamond Tribute. Pretty tough card. And I went through and did that with all of my cards like this. And so I found some pretty rare cards. I went through and, found out this is 1 in 240. This is 1 in 180. So I went through and I did that for all these cards. This gold medallion is like 1 in 8, but then it's times 10 or whatever because it's a gold medallion, right? So that's sort of like how I did the math. And you can see, 1 in 36, 1 in 37, 1 in 48, 1 in 48, 1 in 49. So 1 in 65, 1 in 71. So I went through and did all the insert ratios, right? You can kind of see what the cards are on this way. And so it kind of made it easier for me just to sort them, because now I'm sorting them by sort of the rarity, which of these cards are the easiest and hardest to easiest, so to speak. And I did the same thing for the cards that were over here in these one touches, right? So at first, the one touch cards were always supposed to be the kind of the more expensive or rare cards. And, this is a 1 in 36. I got to go through and kind of reevaluate the cards I had in these holders, because like this card may not, need to be in a holder, versus the cards that are over here. Maybe some cards over here need to be over here. So, but like the Donruss Elite, I just have it in there because, elites are fun. White Hot's fun. So again, and they all have their insert ratios on the back. This Artist Proof was like 1 in 36. Bowman's Best Cut, Atomic, 1 in 96. So, I have insert ratios, and I'm going to go through again and reevaluate what should be in this box over here and what should be in that box over there. But some of these cards I just like. In parallels, you can't really do that, because let's say it's a 1 in 20 parallel. That's still, there's 700 cards in the set. It makes that card much more rare than a 1 in 20 insert with like 10 cards in that set, right? So I kind of evaluate that differently for parallels versus inserts. But these are cards I just like. I mean, yeah, that Field of Vision is a 1 in 39 parallel. So that card's a lot harder to get than just an insert. So that's how I did my raw cards. So there you go. That is the raw cards. So I just did them by rarity. You know, how hard they are to get. And here we go. Last but not least is the good old graded cards. Here are all my Griffey cards that are graded. And yeah, so what do we do on these? Well, pretty simple. I just did them by year and alphabetized. So 89 upper deck. Well, maybe it didn't alphabetized. I tried to do them alphabetized, but maybe I made a mistake. So, but anyway, they're by year. So maybe I didn't alphabetize them, but they're by year. So the 90s, 90 Leaf, 93 Hostess. So they are by year. Maybe I'll go back and alphabetize them at some point. But, you know, I wanted to have all my graded cards in one spot. That way when I add graded cards to my Griffey collection, I can just throw them in. You know, some of them are pretty cool cards. Some of them are just space cards. You know, some of them are parallels, inserts, you know. And the goal here was just to make it easier. So when I added to my collection, I knew what box they go in, how to sort them. The red Hollow View, which I love, you know, that is a first day issue. Those are tough. I got both of them. There's another first day issue. So again, some of these cards are fun. Some of these cards are just base cards. There's an elite. So again, it's just, you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, not everything in here is, you know, super duper rare and cool, but there is a lot of cool cards in here. So as I go through here, you know, you can see I do have quite a bit of inserts, you know, parallels, and you know, just cool cards. There's the gold. There's a Flurry Zone. Found actually 2 of those. There's a press proof gold. So, you know, and again, if you go back, kind of like over here where you're getting into the late 90s, you'll see probably, you know, maybe some cooler stuff. It's a 10. Yeah, that's a pretty tough card. So again, you know, it makes it easier for me to sort, find cards, and just, you know, have a collection that I can add to and grow. So for these cards, it's not based on value or popularity. It's just sorted by year and hopefully alphabetized, but I did a poor job if that was the goal, was to alphabetize them. So that's the strategy. So it seems convoluted. And for some people, you're probably like, if you're really OCD where you have to have everything one way, then yes, that probably hurts your head a little bit to see so many cards in kind of different ways of formatting or ways of sorting. But yeah, it makes sense to me because, again, with the graded cards, they all kind of, to me, it made sense to, they weren't in my top, you know, my 1A, 1B box, then they're going to be sorted by year and name. If they're raw cards, then they're going to be sorted by rarity, because those raw cards may eventually, one of these days, be graded. And so I may look at the raw cards and look at the rarest, hard to find ones. Also, which ones are worth some value, because sometimes the cards in the one touches are there because they sell for more, even though they may not be as rare as another card, but they might sell for a good value in a 9 or 10. So I might put it over there and say, oh, this card may be graded at some point. So it's a good way for me to go and say, hey, do I have any cards I may want to get graded in my Griffey pile? And so that's why I did it by rarity. And then obviously with my refractor set, my autograph set, those are just because I'm trying to put the sets together so it's easy for me to keep track of. And now I have a checklist for my refractor, so that I can make I can keep updating that as I add to that collection. And then obviously my best cards are just what I think are my best cards, and they are in these black boxes. I don't use those black boxes for anything else, so it's going to be really easy to find my best Griffey cards now. They're in those cool black boxes. So that is the video, guys. That is how I sorted my collection. It is all done. I'm just now sorting everything and putting things in order. I'm done sorting everything now. I'm done putting things in order. And now I'm just back into collecting. So hopefully you'll see some cool videos. I have a massive Griffey update, not in value, just in cool cards coming pretty soon. Be on the lookout for that. And I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics.